Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So today is going to be an interesting day. It is FOMC press conference day, so that's always fun. So let's talk about that. But more importantly, let's talk about how both the US and China are now flooding the markets with liquidity. And generally speaking, when that happens, good things happen with Bitcoin and markets. So let's talk about that as well. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, we are much better right now than yesterday or the day before. You can see we're right back up to 97,000. In fact, last night, we almost hit 98,000. We're back to our, weekend level. We were hovering around this level. And then we kind of came back down to like 93, 94. And then boom, we're right back up. Again, we're not that far off from 100,000. I've been saying that. A lot of people are like super depressed. Like we're only $4,000 away from $100,000, from six figures. Years ago, I talked about $100,000 for years, and it's like a mystical price point that no one believed we would ever get to for Bitcoin. And now we have broken it, and now we're sitting so close, and it's like people are still bearish. That shouldn't be the case. Okay. But still, here we are. And today we're opening up the day in green, okay, because there are a lot of things happening. A lot of things happening today. Oh, first of all, look at this. Disney, I just came back from Dubai, which is right next to Abu Dhabi. Look at Disney is going to open a theme park over there. I'm sure that it's not going to look like that, but if it is, it's going to look pretty great. But yeah, as you can see, today's all green because of several things. Number one, I did talk about this last night. Markets are cheering that both the US and China are now talking. Okay, this is what Wall Street and the traders and everyone else has been waiting for. Okay, the standoff between two countries can't last. It's not good for anyone. We need both sides to come to the table and talk. And it seems like it has finally happened. All the talks before seems like it was just not, it was nothing burgers before, but now it's really happening. So that's why markets reacted positively, right? So that's good. That's very good. But what's even better is we're now seeing liquidity injection. So China is injecting stimulus ahead of this U.S. trade meeting. Okay, China needs to. From what I'm hearing, and I talked to a few people that do business in China. China has been struggling before for quite some time, and now this trade war certainly made things worse. So they've been struggling for a while, and I've covered stuff about how they've been struggling too, and they've been injecting liquidity, but now they're doing even more. Okay, so they're doing that, and plus our Fed quietly just injected 20 billion out of nowhere. They just bought 20 billion of 3-year notes out of nowhere, secretly, and this was not planned. So both sides now are injecting liquidity into the space. And I'll show you guys a chart in a little bit. Bitcoin and other assets do very well when there's a lot of liquidity injections, or basically when there's a lot of liquidity anywhere, assets go up. So that's what's happening right now. Okay, both sides injecting a lot of liquidity, both sides coming to the table and talking, and that's a good thing. Very, very good thing. All right, so that is kicking off today. What else? We got the FOMC meeting that's coming up. We'll get a rate decision. I think it's like 12:30, and then we'll have, it's 12:30 or 1:30, I forget. And then there will be a press conference. You know, Powell does his thing and then gets, you know, asked a whole bunch of questions from the reporters. Tends to be volatile at times. I don't think he's going to say anything out of the ordinary. He already spoke many times in the past month. If you look at the percentage of a rate cut for today, it actually went up a little bit, 4.4% for a rate cut, but still near zero. We're not going to get a cut today, but reporters will grill him on his thoughts about, you know, inflation and the economy and all that, because our GDP number obviously came down in negative for last quarter. That's a really bad thing, but we also had good numbers, like unemployment did not go up. So he said before he had to choose between saving jobs or saving inflation. And right now it seems like he doesn't need to save jobs. But his other duty is to save inflation. And we haven't seen any inflation readings that show inflation going up, but we will because of the tariffs. So he's probably going to say, you know, we have to wait and see more data. That's really what it's going to come down to. But he's going to be grilled on that more and more and more today. I know that. And then, you know, if you look at the next FOMC meeting, unfortunately, now it seems like in June we're not going to get a cut either. Now it's down to 29% for a cut in June. This was in the 60%. Now it's down to 30%. And then now July, it's to 55%. So now we may have to wait until the end of July to get that cut. Especially if we get a trade deal going and markets start pumping once again. Yeah, you know, we're definitely not going to get a cut in June. We're probably going to get a cut in July. You know, it is what it is. But it's fine anyways. If everything starts coming up, Powell did say he only wants 2 cuts this year anyways. So it's not like we have 5 FOMC meetings after today. So there'll be plenty of time for cuts. If we have to wait until September, October, December for cuts, so be it, as long as the markets recover, right? So it doesn't really matter. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Outside of big FOMC meeting, what else is there? As for Bitcoin, ETF inflows, outflows, we had a negative day yesterday. Although Blackrock is like, I'm still buying. It's much smaller than the days before, but still, they had a positive of 37 million. Larry Fink and Blackrock, they are ultra bullish versus everyone else. Everyone else could be selling, but they do what they can to buy and load up as much as they can. Their ETF is very, very different than all the other Bitcoin ETFs. That's for sure. And you can see BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF tops world's largest gold fund in inflows this year. Despite gold doing so well, and you would figure gold ETFs would be skyrocketing, right? Especially in inflows. Guess what? Bitcoin ETF still outperforming it. That's how much demand there is, or that's how much Larry Fink believes in it, and he himself is buying with other funds. right? So Bitcoin is the future. And that is why Larry Fink is loading up as much as possible. And others will follow. We have so many ETFs already. But Bitwise says, hey, there will be a lot more. All the big banks will be launching their own ETFs. Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, UBS, they will all be offering ETFs to their clients by the end of this year. That's a lot of liquidity. Again, a lot of liquidity that will be coming. There's just not enough to go around, guys. There's not enough to go around. It's really that simple. And it shows you, right? While we've been a little volatile, okay, you could argue a little volatile, a little down, maybe, you know, for some of you guys, maybe a little scary. That's when the institutions have been loading up. You could see that box right there. You could see how the institutions have been loading up. See, whenever there's kind of like panic in the markets, that's when these like whales or the big money or institutions, that's when they load up. That's how they know, you know, when to load up, when there's panic. Sometimes they cause the panic. Is that's how they make money. They buy low and sell high, right? Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own blood. That's how it goes. Metaplanet acquires another 555 Bitcoins, 53 million. Now they hold 5,555 Bitcoin, approximately 0.026% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist. That's fantastic. Even they are getting into the sailor game and just going nuts and buying as many as they can. 5,555 Bitcoin. That has to be close to $500 million now. They are ramping up quite a lot. And you know who else has a boatload of Bitcoins? Trump. Eric Trump reportedly told Bloomberg that President Trump owns a lot of Bitcoin. That would not surprise me. And it would not surprise me that a lot of people, even maybe like Gary Gensler, Nancy Pelosi, even Peter Schiff, it would not surprise me, even Peter Schiff holding a lot of Bitcoin. At this point, I just don't see anyone not holding Bitcoin. Even the biggest bears, they should hold some Bitcoin. Like I just don't see anyone not holding a lot of Bitcoin. Last few things. You know, some of you guys asked me, and we're already in May, so it's kind of pointless to talk about it. But in April, some people, you know, talked about, do we sell in May? You know, it's one of those months, sell in May and go away, you know, kind of thing. Certainly not the case. All cycles are different, right? We got a lot of things going on right now, a lot of potentially good things. If this trade agreement gets resolved or gets made, I should say, or the trade wars gets resolved, we are certainly going up, right? And who knows? Many other things could be happening that cause us to go up. This new narrative of putting money into Bitcoin as a store of value, as a hedge against inflation that started about a month ago, that could certainly drive us higher. Liquidity injection, that could drive us higher. Oh, I got that chart to show you guys. There are a lot of things that could drive us a lot higher this month. Here's another one. $4 billion worth of shorts waiting to be liquidated at $100,000. Again, we're only like $4,000 away, or now we're $3,000 away. We're $3,000 away from liquidating $4 billion worth of shorts, that will cause another short squeeze, and that will drive us even higher. Again, who's shorting Bitcoin? Who dares to short Bitcoin? I always say the surest way to lose money is to short Bitcoin. That's like the one thing you don't want to short. You could short memes, you could short whatever. Just don't short Bitcoin. You just don't know when it's going to turn around. You just don't do it. Bitcoin in the Bollinger Bands, you can see how it's bouncing off the middle point. Tends to go a lot higher or make the next move upwards, right? The next leg up. Going back to its previous high and making that next leg up, possibly at 135, 150. And the last thing I'll show you guys is this. Liquidity injection are good things for Bitcoin. Bitcoin always tracks liquidity. And this is Bitcoin tracking the global M2 money supply. We're about 90 days off. There's an offset about 90 days. But you could see what's coming next, right? Good things. Good things are coming next. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. We went up a little bit higher, 97.1. That is great. Markets are still in the green. MicroStrategy almost at 400 again. 394. And Coinbase up to almost 200. That's great. And then and the Robinhood up almost to 50 again. Good stuff. Good stuff. All around. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Let's see here. I'm scrolling through. Joe Potter, I'm glad you listened. Dips are gifts. When it comes to Bitcoin, at least. Dips are always gifts. I mean, if you understand Bitcoin, you'll realize that there's only so much, and you're competing with everyone else. And now the big boys are buying billions upon billions every single week. It's hard to compete. So you got to take advantage. Knicks or Celtics in 5. I don't like the Celtics, right? So I'm cheering for Knicks, although I don't really care for Knicks. I never liked Cat. I like Brunson. I never liked Cat. I don't like how his voice changes depending on if he's doing a broadcast or not, or he's talking in a podcast or not. But he did revitalize himself once he went to the Knicks, so I'll give him that. But I just don't want to see Celtics win again. At this point, since the Lakers out, I'm rooting for Denver. I want to see Jokic win again. I want to see him win his 4th MVP because he deserves it. And I want to see him win another championship, despite not having a head coach. That would be even crazier. They fired a head coach right before the playoffs. And if he can win it, he's like going to be he's a player and a coach at this point. And if they can win it, that would solidify him as one of the best players ever in NBA history. Reza, first of all, Curry's not going to win another chip. And second of all, even if he does, he's nowhere close to LeBron. Nowhere close. He won 2 of those chips because he had KD with him. He had to recruit KD to a 73-win team to get past LeBron. Think about how stupid that is. He had a 73-win team, lost to LeBron, and then begged for the best player in the league to join them, and that's how they got through LeBron. That will always be an asterisk on KD's resume and asterisk on Curry's resume. I'm surprised Cavs are losing to the Pacers. I have no clue about the Pacers, but they're actually doing it. Yeah, they won 1 without him, but they won 2 more with him. And KD, you're right. KD would never have won without Curry either. But still, it's so stupid. That was actually when I started turning into a LeBron fan. I always hated LeBron before, but it was after that that made me turn, because I just thought that was so stupid. You had an all-star team with 4 all-stars on one team in a starting lineup, and I was just like so stupid. Wolves would beat Celtics. I don't even think Wolves are going to get out of the Denver series. Why are they playing Denver right now? Yeah, I think they are. Oh, I'm sorry. Wolves are playing Golden State. I do want to see Golden State win, though. I don't like Wolves. Frankie, yeah, Discord in Crypto Pulse. Yes. I'm waiting for I'm waiting for Giannis to join the Lakers next year. Robert. Zanma. I don't know what kind of Chinese you're trying to say there. How high do you think Stewie could go this cycle, and how high in the next 5 years? I don't know, man. I think they're doing very well, and I think a lot of people are recognizing that. I think their ecosystem is great. I was very impressed about their base camp. So I'll just say that they will be a lot higher this cycle in the next 5 years. $3 billion worth of shorts, or $4 billion worth of shorts, will be liquidated at 100K, and we're at 97 already. 3,000. If we get some, I mean, I don't know. If Powell says something good in the FOMC meeting, I don't know. Sometimes he says something surprising. You know, I'm not too hopeful that he's going to say something good, but if he does, we'll get that 3,000 points like nothing. Will GTA revive metaverse coins? I don't think so. Unless GTA 6 has its own coin, I don't think it's gonna do anything for metaverses. What will 4 billion worth of shorts liquidated to 100K means? Well, it means there's gonna be a short squeeze. That means there will be a lot of forced selling, and that means we'll get a squeeze. That means the price will go up, quite simply. You know, we got a good amount of people in here. Almost 4,000 people in here. A lot of people excited again. About 97,000. And I guess about liquidity injections. We got China injecting liquidity. Fed injecting liquidity. We got potential deal on the way. Looking good. NVIDIA pushing to have near protocol made an ETF fast track so they can have AI on their chain. I didn't hear about that. How far will the war with India and Pakistan affect markets? Well, obviously it didn't affect it at all because it started yesterday and markets are still green right now. Unless it leads to some nuclear war, knock on wood that it won't happen, but right now it's not having any effect. You guys ever wonder? I know a lot of people, I don't want to always change it back to basketball talk, but those of you guys that watched basketball in the 90s, like how do you think Jokic would do against, like if he played against like the centers of the 90s, like against Olajuwon and Alonzo and like, you know, Robinson and Ewing and Shaq. Like he's so not pretty to watch, but somehow he just gets the ball in. Like I don't know how good he would be against those guys. Those guys were like really tough defenders. They averaged like 3-4 blocks a game. Like, I don't know if he would do well against them. I mean, he could shoot threes, but like if he's down low, I think he would get shut down. I don't think he would stand a chance against any of them. Like I know Jokic couldn't stop any of them on the defensive side. I mean, Jokic on the offensive side, I think he would get destroyed too. Like besides shooting threes and on the outside, he wouldn't be able to do anything on the inside because they're too good at defense. Yeah, and Duncan, Garnett, like these guys, if they played Series D on Jokic, I don't even know if like he could do anything. I mean, they're not even centers, I guess. They're power forwards. Rick, new member, welcome. And Reza, new member, welcome. Someone asked about Multiverse X. Not a real big fan. They renamed from Elron. They just don't have a lot going for them. He would be better at 4. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, even like Yao Ming, man. I was a big Yao Ming fan. And even Sabonis. Arvydas Sabonis, man. He probably played Shaq the best. He was the only one that had a big enough body to kind of somewhat contain Shaq. Him and Yao. Shaq punished everyone down below. Like, he like physically punished everyone. During the Portland series, I just felt bad for Arvydas. He just like he pushed him around so badly. Jokic would get destroyed if he played prime Shaq. It wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be fair. Robert says, what do you think about chiropractors? I've been to one before. I don't know. I would say if you go to a chiropractor, just don't let them adjust your neck. I just hear a lot of scary things about your neck. I also hear chiropractors are not real doctors, so they go to medical school, but they're not real doctors. Because there are spine doctors. So I don't know what I feel about chiropractors. I just know a lot of the ones that adjust your neck are dangerous. So don't do it. If you want to adjust anything else, I guess it's fine, but just don't adjust your neck. Reza, thank you. They don't go to medical school? I thought they still do. Wispy, stop it. LeBron would excel in any era. He's 6'9", like 280. Okay, he would excel in any era. Eric, so what? He got wrecked by Dirk once. How many did Dirk win? One. Don't pretend like Dirk won like 6 championships, or even 4, or even 2. He won 1. That doesn't diminish anything. There's so many LeBron haters simply because they want to protect Jordan. That's it. That's what I concluded. So many people love to hate LeBron simply because they want to protect Jordan. Not because they actually feel like Jordan's number one. They just like want to hate on LeBron because they want to hate on LeBron and protect Jordan. That's it. That's it. Yeah, you could say he's not a GOAT. You could say he's second best or not a GOAT. But there are people that just like love to hate on him, love to hate on everything. And they're just doing it because they just want to protect Jordan. V Hunt, did Jordan only play 6 years in the NBA? Did he only play 6 years in NBA? Is he only 6-0 or is he 6-18? Did he even make it to the finals in the other years that he didn't win? Well, I think he played in 15 years, not 18 years. 15 or 16 years. So not making the finals means that you just discount him. That means he wasn't good enough to make it to the finals. Somehow you just discount those years. Blazo, thank you. It's like saying Jordan never got past Bird or Magic either. It's like all this thing about, oh, he lost to Dirk. Jordan lost to Bird. He never got past Bird. All this is nonsense. People just like to hate because they like to hate LeBron. That's it. All right. I guess we'll end on that note. Switching back to Bitcoin. We're still going higher. We got the FOMC meeting coming up. And we'll see. We'll see if there's interesting things that get said today. Right around, I think it's 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll put out a video tonight for you guys. Or maybe I'll do a live stream because it's DCA night. All right? Take care, guys.